What is going on today, YouTube family? We are behind the wheel of the all-new 2025 Mazda CX-50 Hybrid. I'm gonna go around the vehicle, show you all that it has to offer, go over a couple of weird omissions by Mazda, and show you that why, if you are a Mazda lover and you hate the idea of a CVT, don't be afraid of the CVT that comes with this vehicle, because it is an eCVT. So it is a planetary gear set and not a belt-driven transmission like a traditional CVT would be. Let's go ahead and get everything on. It is 32 degrees, so I am going to turn on my heated seats. And let's just start out with the weird omission. So this car does not have a heated steering wheel. This is a Premium Plus that we're sitting inside of. So if you got a Premium Plus in the other vehicles that are non-hybrid, that are CX-50 models, they would come with a heated steering wheel, but no heated steering wheel here, and also no 360 camera. So two things that Mazda omitted from this trim level for whatever reason. Could be that Toyota said, hey, we'll give you the hybrid system, but you're not going to be able to have a heated steering wheel or a 360 camera because we're going to save that for the RAV4. Who knows what that conversation was like in that room, but that's just one little speculation. But let's go ahead. Like I said, the lights are already on, and cool thing with the hybrids is that you can get it with this optional red interior that looks really good. So you get that same stitching down the middle, some contrast black stitches as well, but it is genuine leather, and I think it looks really nice. Let's take a look around. Now, the only real way you can tell a hybrid from a normal CX-50, especially at this trim level, is the wheels for one, and two, these little tiny hybrid badges that you get on both the front quarter panels and one on the rear as well. Other than that, you really can't tell, and I kind of enjoy the fact that Mazda didn't make it scream out, hey, I'm here to save the world. It's just a CX-50 that happens to have a little bit more power than the base motor, but more efficiency as well. I think it looks really good. Still get your black cladding along the bottom of the bumpers in the front, rear, and sides. Makes it look a little bit more rugged and makes it look like it sits up higher off the ground than it actually does. Full LED illumination as well, which looks really good. It's got that signature fade in and out effect that Mazdas are now known for. Still get dual exhausts, which are both active, which is great. You know, a lot of people do dual exhaust outlets, but only one works. They do that for symmetry, but as you can see, there's steam coming out of both, so they are both active, which is great. This one is in the pearlescent white color as well. You get black mirror caps on the sides with the turn signal repeater, and it is a very nice looking vehicle. I'm going to make sure it's unlocked and we can check out the back seat too. Now, back here, just due to the nature of the packaging of the battery being underneath the floor, you do lose, I think it's 2 to 3 inches of leg room back here versus a normal CX-50, but you don't lose any of the cargo space. So that's one place where they made sure that you didn't lose out, was in the cargo area. And then back here, so back here, as you see, the vehicle does have full LED interior illumination as well. You do get 2 USB-C ports, as well as some climate control vents, and a single mat pocket over there on the side. The backs of the seats are black instead of red, and then that leather carries out throughout back here with the red accenting as well. You get cup holders and a fold down armrest, but no heated seats. So that's another thing that this vehicle is going to be without, are the heated seats. So let me know in the comments if you guys can deal with those things, but just letting you know, if you're looking for them, heated steering wheel, 360 camera, and heated back seats, it's not available on this vehicle. Let's pop the hood. Okay, so you do get struts. Thank God. We love hydraulic struts for a hood. Just makes it easier. Underneath the hood here, if this engine looks familiar, it is because it is. This is Toyota's 2.5 liter inline 4, runs on the Atkinson cycle, and it is paired with electronic all-wheel drive. So just like a RAV4 hybrid, there is no physical connection between the front and rear wheels of this vehicle. There is just an electric motor on that back axle that is electronically controlled with wheel sensors and brake sensors and all those sorts of things to make sure that if there is power needed back there, it can shift it around front to back, as well as side to side with braking. So traction control will kick in if you get a wheel up to slow the wheel that is off the ground down and send that power back over to the other side. System total output for this vehicle is 219 horsepower. So the base model with the 2.5 liter from Mazda with their Skyactiv direct injection, those make 187 horsepower. So you're looking at a total increase of 32 horsepower. So this is going to be quicker off the line and should be beyond than the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder from Mazda, which is the base motor for this vehicle. And then also keep in mind with that electric motor, getting you off the line 0 to 60 should be faster. So I think the regular CX-50 does 0 to 60 somewhere in like the 7.5 to 8 second neighborhood. So this should be quicker by, I'm thinking, at least half a second. And so if you're looking for a little bit more power and efficiency, the hybrid is definitely the way to go. And close it up, step back so you guys can see it. I love those LED headlights. One thing that this car doesn't have that the CX-5 is kind of known for is adaptive swiveling headlights. So not the case with the CX-50 for whatever reason. Doesn't seem to be available on any trim level, hybrid or not. So one thing to keep in mind, if that is a big deal for you, which most people it's not going to be, but if it is, you'll have to get a CX-5. And then back here you got the same exact cargo configuration. Seats do fold down 60-40 split, and unlike a lot of manufacturers, Mazda refuses to sell anything without a temporary spare. Kudos to Mazda for that. A lot of manufacturers give you a fix-a-flat kit, which in most instances is just useless. It just really is. This tailgate is powered, of course, as you see, and height adjustable. You can also lock the vehicle from a little lock button right next to the close button, which is nice as well. Another thing that this car doesn't have, just to point out, front and rear parking sensors. That is another thing that it is missing. So few weird omissions by Mazda, but again, if you don't care about those things, you should be all good. It does have the upgraded Bose audio system. You do still get power folding mirrors on this vehicle as standard at this trim level. You do also have 2-person memory, and all of the driver's assistance features are actually standard. So no worries there. Things like pedestrian detection and forward collision alert, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, all those things are standard. So that is a great thing to have. And as far as the gauges are concerned, pretty traditional layout, very similar to a standard CX-50. The only difference is the tachometer has been replaced with a power meter, and that power meter will just show you how much acceleration you are giving the throttle, and then whenever you let off the gas, it will bring it down into that charge area there. And of course, whenever you brake, it'll also recharge that battery. This is what's known as a self-sufficient hybrid, so you do not need to plug this vehicle in. You can't plug it in. It's got a very small battery pack, so there is an EV button down here that you can use at very, very low speeds for a very short amount of time. So if you are looking for something that is a plug-in hybrid that you can get, you know, more than 20 plus miles on a full charge on, you'll have to step up to a CX-70 PHEV, which does very well for Mazda, and the owners of those seem to really love those as well. But let's go ahead and take out this CX-50 hybrid. Very excited to be driving it for the first time. You can change the configuration of the gauges there between information, the charge level of that battery pack, the trip data, as well as your driver's assistance screen there. But I think I'll leave it on the traditional analog speedo look. One thing that I did notice, they did switch out the shifter. So this is not a Mazda shifter. You'll find the same shifter on something like a Corolla or Corolla Cross or a Camry. This is a Toyota specific shifter. I don't know why Mazda couldn't use their own shifter, because I will tell you that the engagement points between reverse, neutral, and drive are not nearly as fluid as they are with a Mazda shifter. Mazda shifters are very smooth in their action. This is a little bit more, it's a little different. Not necessarily bad, just an observation. But with this model, you do get the heated and cooled seats, just no heated steering wheel button here. So something else to just kind of note. And then you have your drive mode selector. So here's where you'll find your power mode, which is obviously going to be for best acceleration, normal, and then you also have a trail mode. No eco mode with this vehicle. So again, Mazda is sticking to their guns with respect to the zoom zoom sort of tagline that they've had for forever. And that just means, you know, you either want to go fast, you want to do normal driving, or we're going to do a little bit of light off-roading, but not so much concerned with the eco aspect. And again, I'm okay with that. Definitely okay with that. So let's go ahead and just do a quick night drive, guys. Now, to me, the real beauty of this CX-50 hybrid is the fact that you're getting all of the benefits of a RAV4 hybrid with respect to longevity, reliability, low cost of ownership, but you are getting the driving dynamics and the steering feel of a Mazda. And to me, that is just the most perfect combination, because the RAV4 is just a little too soft for a lot of people, including myself. You know, when you go around corners, it does lean a bit. The suspension is geared more for comfort instead of engagement. And so for that reason, it is not, in my opinion, the most fun thing to drive. But with this vehicle having a newer and more updated chassis, as well as better steering, one might argue that this is the perfect combination of a vehicle. Now, the reason why it's important to point out the fact that this is an eCVT instead of a belt-driven traditional CVT is because an eCVT just drives way better than a traditional CVT. And I definitely encourage you to go out to your local Mazda dealership and test drive one of these if they have them on the lot. This vehicle is highly anticipated, and it doesn't seem like they're being built fast enough for the demand. And with that comes dealerships who are already marking these things up by thousands of dollars. Fitzgerald Mazda of Annapolis is not, and has not ever, nor will they ever, no matter what the circumstances are, mark a vehicle up. Mr. Fitzgerald does not believe in price gouging. It's never been something that he's been into. And that trickles down all the way from the CEO to the sales staff and the management staff. So if you are in Maryland, DC, Virginia, Pennsylvania, anywhere in the surrounding areas, and you're looking for one of these, you're just not going to get marked up. Not going to happen. Let's go ahead and switch it up to power mode. And an eCVT is a lot more sure and a lot quicker about its ratio changes. So whenever you put your foot down, it almost feels like a traditional stepped automatic when it changes that ratio to give you more acceleration. It's not that rubber bandy, winding up sort of feel that you get from, say, a Nissan product, or, you know, a Chevy Malibu, or, you know, something like that with a traditional CVT. This being, again, the E version of a CVT is much better. So again, if you loathe the idea of driving a continuously variable transmission vehicle, definitely give this a check out, and I promise you'll be pleasantly surprised at how it drives. Now again, this is not a speed demon, right? But it does have more power than the base CX-50, and it's way more efficient. We're talking 38 miles to the gallon, and you know, depending on how you drive, I can definitely see some people getting 42, 43, probably mid 40s with this same setup, just based on how you drive. Planning your stops, not accelerating so hard all the time, not leaving it in power mode when it doesn't need to be, like I just was. And yeah, I think you'll be fine. But see, this is where it just outdoes a RAV4 by miles. The steering and the handling on this vehicle is just phenomenal. We're gonna take it down this back road here, and I'll show you a little bit more of what I mean by that. Very direct steering, turning is fantastic. That instant torque from the electric motor, it just holds on very well. And of course, these are eco tires that it's on. So of course, with a different tire setup, it would be even better on a back road, but you will lose some MPGs going to a standard street tire or a sportier setup. But depending on who you are, it may be worth it. You know, if you lose 2 to 3 miles to the gallon for better grip, some people will say that's worth it. I am one of those people. But yeah, this thing just handles incredibly well. Incredibly well. Much better than the equivalent RAV4. And I know the XSE versions have their own steering setup, and it's supposed to be sportier, and suspension is a little bit stiffer, but it still doesn't hold a candle to the CX-50. Really don't know why they didn't put a 360 camera, but again, I was nowhere around when that decision was made. And now, let me just show you guys what it's like to drive in an EV mode. We've got a nearly fully charged battery, as you see there. Looks like about 3/4 of the way charged. So we should, yep, we are in EV mode now. So we are driving along in complete silence. And this is great for going to the grocery store. You live, you know, a mile or two away. And then of course, once you go past 25 miles an hour, it kicks the engine right back in. So this is strictly for low speed usage. If you are taking cookies to your neighbor's house and they live a couple blocks down, use EV mode. You won't use a lick of gas getting there. Little things like that. If you're going to the mall and you're on one side of the parking lot and your favorite store is on the other side and you're going to move the car, you can do that too, all in EV mode. So it does have its uses, but for most people, you'll use that pretty infrequently. But it's nice that it's an option. All right, let's do power mode again. All right, now we're gonna try a quick 0 to 60. So again, for most people, daily use, this is more than enough power. You know, I've had people say, well, I've never looked at a hybrid because I always thought they were slow. That is not the case. A lot of vehicles, especially when it comes to racing, they use hybrid systems for supplemental power. So it fills in the gaps while there's turbos spooling up or whatever the case may be. There's additional power being sent from the electric motor. So no, hybrids are not slow, and a lot of the time they are quicker than their base counterparts, base gas counterparts. So get that out of your head and go test drive one. I think you, again, will be pleasantly surprised. And two, that was also going uphill slightly. First it was kind of going down, then it went up immediately. So I will post the time, or I will have already posted the time. And so also, one other thing I just noticed, with this one being the top, very top trim, the steering assist button is missing. So it does have lane departure warning, road departure mitigation, and it will steer you back into your lane if you were to go out like that. So it vibrates and it'll put you back, but then it's just gonna ping pong. Whereas on the Premium Plus versions, especially the Turbo Premium Pluses, there's a little button right here with the steering wheel icon, and it will just do lane tracing. So that's another thing to keep in mind when looking at this vehicle. They did omit like 3 to 4 pretty good features, and I'm, again, not really sure why. Mazda, can you please explain to me why you did that, and if you plan on rectifying that in the 2026 model? Give me something, let me know something here, because very happy to have the CX-50 hybrid. It has been highly anticipated, and I have so many people looking for this vehicle, cross-shopping in between the CR-V, the RAV4, the Santa Fe's, or the Tucson, sorry. And those vehicles have steering assist, so please tell me why we don't. So like right now, Put it back in EV mode. I won't go over 25 and just see how long it'll go. It's very quiet. But see, even if I'm not on throttle, which I wasn't back there, and it goes over 25 miles an hour, it still kicks the engine on. So it is a very sensitive EV mode, just like the RAV4 though. So if you love the idea of the efficiency of a hybrid and you like the longevity, great resale value, very low cost of ownership and maintenance on a RAV4 hybrid, but you think it's a bit boring or a bit dated or doesn't handle all that well, definitely swing by your local Mazda store and check one of these guys out, because they are, I think, going to be very, very popular. And as soon as Mazda can build enough to satisfy the demand, we'll really be in business. But as always, I want to thank you guys for joining me in today's video. Be sure to like and subscribe. If there was anything that I didn't go over about the vehicle that you would like to know, please hit me up in the comments and say so. And I'd be happy to do a follow-up video on the vehicle. This car is going to be at Fitzgerald Mazda for the foreseeable future as a demo vehicle. So it isn't going anywhere. It is strictly for test drives to get the word out about the vehicle. And we've got like 8 or 9 right now that are going to be coming in. So definitely going to be getting some inventory. Again, please make sure you like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, homies.